I mentioned to you how there's this push right now for Christian parents to homeschool their kids. Several families in my area have decided to join homeschool co-ops.
Okay, well, when you say push, by who? Who's doing the pushing?
On social media, like Christian social medias and stuff like that, they'll say, they'll take a reason like this. They'll take a school shooting and where the left political leaders and media takes this shooting and runs with it to say we need more gun control. Every conservative Christian person, influencer that I see, takes the shooting and says, just another reason to homeschool your kids.
Okay, but you sound like you're being critical of people who want to homeschool.
Well, I don't want to sound like that. What I'm saying is now you're at a crossroads where I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day who they decided to join a homeschool co-op for their daughter. The tricky part is now if we have Christian kids raised in a Christian home, now we're pulling all of the light out of the school. You're getting all of the positive influence out of the school. You're removing all of the Christian kids out of the school, and they're just hopeless. They're in there with no Christian influence in their school at all. Just free-range beef. Just, you know what I mean?
I don't think you can put the burden of spreading Christianity on 7-year-olds.
Our children aren't meant to be warriors for Christ at that age out there in a battlefield where they could be assaulted and killed. And I affirm all of that. But still, my heart goes out to kids that never have a Christian friend growing up in public school. It's like you almost doom them to never being exposed to genuine faith, genuine, compassionate, Christ-like love. And that hurts me. But it also, I 100% agree with my friend who said, I'm going to co-op with my kids because they're not meant to be little warriors and put their lives at jeopardy.
It's hard for me to say a lot on the subject because I don't have children. I always feel like parents are like, well, who are you to say anything? But if I did have children, they wouldn't be in public school.
Okay. I don't think either one is the correct answer. I said, but I know there's one wrong answer. This content is brought to you by NotGospelStudios.com. If you want to support the channel but don't know how, just click on over to NotGospelStudios.com, follow and subscribe to us on all of our listening platforms, and then click the store icon where you can purchase Not Gospel Studios merch, including custom spray art. If you'd like your own custom spray art painting, just click the custom spray art icon, and as you're checking out, in the additional notes section, tell us what you want on your painting. We'll create your painting, post the video of it, and you can watch the entire process of how your painting was created while you're waiting for your custom artwork to arrive at your door. As always, thank you guys so much for listening and watching and supporting, and keep being awesome, because that's how God made you. If you want to take your kids homeschool and even a Christian co-op where they're learning like a faith-based education, fantastic. I think it's awesome. You want to put them in public school, but you want to be active in their education. And when people they have questions, they come home, they're bringing materials that you don't like, you're going to the school board and you're saying, hey, my kid ain't learning this crap. Like, that's ideological, that's not educational. That's a great way to do it. Sign up. Like, I think that's fantastic. The one wrong way to do is just supposedly be a Christian and send your kids to school blindly because it's free daycare.
That's true.
It's like, your kids are going to come out of there.
If you send your kids to public school, you have to be involved somehow.
Yes, especially if you're a believer, especially in this day and age, the way it is. 100%.
Okay, well, you being a dad with 3 children in grade school, well, 2 of them are, does it worry you sending them out?
I pray over my kids so I don't worry, but I also am probably going to start doing my own sort of
like, here's what you do if something bad happens.
For my children, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm secretly hoping deep down that our local legislation will start putting more armed guards in schools, which they are. There's an armed police officer at every one of the schools, and our schools are smaller. They're easier to guard. And we have programs like Watchdogs where at any day at those schools, several fathers are there monitoring. If they see somebody that coming in the yard in a trench coat or whatever, they're going to go get somebody.
I think that's good.
Yes. Unfortunately, they're not armed, these fathers.
Why
you know
not?
what I'm saying? Because, you're not allowed. It's a gun-free zone, Chandra. You can't have a gun on campus unless you're a police officer.
I thought they were like sitting a little off campus.
No. Like
can they park across the street
walking
with a
through
gun?
the halls. They're walking in the recess. I've done it before. I've watched dog before. I may or may not have had my concealed carry weapon on at the time.
We just won't talk
about that. I'm just saying I've done it before.
Yeah.
And I think those programs do help, so I don't necessarily worry too much about my children's safety in their school system. But I constantly wrestle with the idea of just homeschooling my kids. You know, why expose them to that potential threat? And then I feel for all the other kids out there that aren't going to have kids like mine who when a teacher tells them this about trans and this about Black Lives Matter and this about that, my kid says, well, my dad's told me that blah, 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 and this works for us. If there's not some
first off, you think that's what's happening?
100%. They are 100%. They are leaking their ideology through. Even I already know it. Even in schools like ours that don't profess that at all. That Black Lives Matter /
No, I was saying, do you think that's necessarily your kids are gonna be like, well, my dad says?
Yes. Yeah. Either that or they're just saying, well, that's not the way we do it. Because they'll ask me the questions and I'll say, well, what do you think? Just the other day, they watched Naked and Afraid on TV, and there's this dude.
And they saw some naked, afraid people.
And there's a dude who had a blurred out situations down here and blurred out chesticles in the chestal region with a full beard because he's out there for several days. Cannot.
Wait, there was a guy with chesticles?
Guy. It was a trans woman.
So it was a girl.
So it's a guy trying to transition into a girl.
Oh, and he grew boobies.
He's on hormones and he's grown.
Gotcha.
Chestals or chesticles, and so the boys are looking at it like, is that a boy or a girl? And I said, Liam Griffin, that is a boy, a biological boy who was born a boy who believes and feels like a girl and believes he's a girl. So he's trying to do things to look more like a girl, but he's definitely a biological boy.
Did you go any further into the hell with him? Like, you can take medicine and grow boobies. You can
my
chop
dad,
off your wiener.
unfortunately, my 85-year-old dad did. He's like, yeah, and he's got the doctors giving him these hormones. And I'm like, Dad, my son is 9. Like, he don't know about hormones. Like, what are you trying to do here? But yeah, so my dad did all of that for me. And I said, funny. Yes, there are medicines now that can make people look and seem and feel and present more like a girl or a boy. I said, but they are what they are. And he's like, yeah. If you like this clip from the Not Gospel Studios channel, don't forget to share. Click on one of the other links and videos. You can find them here, and subscribe. I think it's down here. Tell your friends about us. Tell them that it's healthy, that it's vegan, and all of those things. Keep being awesome, because that's how God made you.